right, Felix, we are rolling. Felix, welcome to Western New York.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, talk to us about your love of cars. You're at the Marilla Car Show, and you were just telling me you had a vintage car.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm happy to be here. This is my third time here. Vinny, he invited me to come back, and I said I'll love to come because I love cars. I love old cars. As a matter of fact, I owned a '58 Impala convertible. I bought when I went to California, I bought in 1962. Then I traded in for a '65 Impala Super Sport, and they gave me $450 in trade-in. And now I wish I had it because I know it's worth $100,000.
When you come to Western New York and you sign autographs, and your fans come to see you, and I have to imagine that some of your fans are probably my age, maybe 50 plus, who remember you from some of the great television shows and the movies, and then the younger fans from some of the other work that you've done. You've done so much.
Well, a lot of people that remember me from my Addams Family, Cousin Ed, original TV show, and the young generation remember me from Star Wars. Also, I did Buck Rogers, 1977. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and I've done so much stuff. I spent about 45 years in the movie industry, from '62 to 1995. That's when I retired, and then about 2003, I decided to move to Las Vegas. So right now I live in Las Vegas, and this morning when we came here, to me it felt like I was in the winter because it was cold. Vegas is like 105, 110, and this was really cold. I was really, really freezing. I said, where am I, in Alaska? It was so cold. So I'm glad that the sun came out a little bit, and it turned out to be a great day.
Now, what got you motivated to be in motion pictures, and what got you into all of the acting all those years ago?
Well, actually, it came out by mistake. In 1962, I decided to, I was with the Ringling Brothers Circus from '57 to 2062, up to 1962. So in '62, I decided I had enough circus, and I decided to live in LA. And a guy from MGM came over where I was working, and they were looking for a little people to do a stunt for a movie. So he said, why don't you go down to MGM, you might be the right person. So I did, and I was the right person, and I got to do my first movie with Shirley Jones and Carolyn Jones and Gig Young, and then Addams Family came. Right.
Well, and that's amazing because you've worked, Felix, with so many of the greats. I mean, you mentioned Shirley Jones, and of course Carolyn Jones and John Astin and on the Addams Family. At Bewitched, Agnes Moorehead. How did these stars treat you, and what were they like?
I tell you, those days are gone. They'll never come back, because those days were great. You got to work, like you said, Carolyn Jones, Shirley Jones, Jackie Coog, and John Astin. They were the greatest professional actor, and we all got along. Like Addams Family. We were like a family. Was no arguments, and nobody shouted at anyone else. The director were nice to people. It's not like right now. Like now it's different. Everything's in a hurry. Those days they were like you have to have a professional thing. If the movie wasn't perfect, they never released it. Right now they're in a hurry. They put everything on a tube. On a cassette. It goes direct into cable, whatever they want to do. They make quick money, and they turn around and do something else. So.
Talk to us about the character of Cousin It, because you really, in many ways, we didn't really see you. You were covered with all that crazy hair, but you had that funny voice. Did you make that voice up?
No, the voice was made by someone else that I met about 30 years after the TV show got canceled. I went to a church one day. I took a friend of mine to get some, whatever it was, a food or whatever. So I came into the door. This guy with a gray beard, he looked at me and he says, Cousin It. And I says, how do you know? He says, I did your voice. 30 years later, after the show was canceled, he says, I did your voice as Cousin It. The guy was in music department. So what they did, I think they recorded something and they sped it up, you speed it or whatever, backwards. I don't know how they did it. He said, I did your voice. And I finally met him 30 years after the show got canceled.
Oh, that's a great story. That's a great story. If you were to look back, Felix, on all of the movies and television shows that you've done, What would be your takeaway on it? I mean, you talked about some of the greats, but what do you think your legacy would be?
You know what? I don't think those days will ever come back. You know, we lost all the great actors, like a Gary Cooper, all the great actors. You know, I loved Western movies, and the best one that I really liked was High Noon with Gary Cooper. I don't think those days we'll ever see them again, ever again, because this country is changing. Everything is in a hurry. Everything, oh, hurry up, we have to finish the film. They didn't care about the professional thing. They didn't care about how the movie was going to be, the film, if it wasn't perfect. They don't care right now. Those days, if it wasn't perfect, it was never put on the screen or never was released.
Well, the TV station that we're with, WBBZ, is running all of these great shows. They run the MeTV network, and I think one of the great things is that when people see the Addams Family and Bewitched and some of these other shows, they see that quality and they look at it and they enjoy it.
You know, talk about the original stuff. Everybody tried to do remakes. I mean, they remade the Addams Family, they remade the Planet of the Apes. If you don't have any great idea, just don't worry about it. Don't really have to redo it. They keep doing remakes. They never learn. The reason they don't do that because they don't have new ideas. All the great things gone, and we'll never see them again.
There's great writing on that show.
Oh yes, they were funny. The writer was there. We had the writers from the Marx brother, and they knew what they were doing. They knew comedy, you know, and it was funny. Now, everything is applause. It's all recorded. You know, the sign comes up, applause, and the people applause. Right now, everything is like a half word here and a half word there. That's not necessary. You know, we don't need that kind of stuff. But the new generation, that's how they're gonna. You know, that's how they are. They kind of brainwash these kids, and they don't understand what we went through.
Did you realize you were making a classic when you were making it? Because you didn't record it you didn't film it in front of an audience, but did you realize it was going to become a classic that endured for generations, the Addams Family?
I didn't know anything about it. You know, I mean, I was brand new in this country. I got to California in 1962. I was just learning English, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know that 40 years later, it was going to be this, you know, follower. They had such a follower. Like, you know, Addams Family, Buck Rogers, all the stuff that I've done. I never knew that it was going to be like this. You know, 30, 40 years later, everybody talks about it. And the Addams Family is really great because we have such a great follower. When you got to work with John Astin and Jackie Coogan, you can't find any better. You know, Jackie died. The only one alive was myself, John Astin, the two kids. As a matter of fact, John Astin is in Baltimore teaching drama in Johns Hopkins University. He has his own theater, and he has like 450 students. Everyone likes to have him in the different convention, but John is too busy and he cannot do it. He cannot get away from what he loves to do. So everybody wants him, and it's very hard to get in touch with John.
Well, we're happy that we got in touch with you. Felix, I'm going to ask you if you could do an ID for the station. Look right in the camera and say, "I'm Felix Sillia, Cousin It," and watch the Addams Family on WBBZ-TV. Think you can handle that?
Sure.
All right. Give it a shot.
My name is Felix Sillia. Watch the Addams Family on WBBZ. Thank you.
And one more time, we'll say, "I'm Felix Sillia, Cousin It."
I forgot.
That's okay.
Oh, well, you have the right to make one mistake, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, my name is Felix Sillia, Cousin It from the Addams Family, the original TV show, and you are watching WBBZ, right?
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Felix. We'll do one more, okay?
Same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Felix Sillia, Cousin It from the Addams Family, the original TV show, and you are watching WBBZ. Thank you.